Hey, I'm Gabriel O'Sullivan. Thanks for joining me again. This channel is going to be a man's resource to help overcome the struggles of life. And today, what we're going to be talking about is, hey, if there was some questions that you could ask God, what would they be? Like if you were just sitting down, hanging out like I'm hanging out on this bar stool and Jesus is right beside you, and you could ask him some questions, what would they be? You know, maybe the questions that you're going to ask him would be revolved around the difficult times that you have faced in life or that you're facing currently. And if so, would you come at him like, God, why are you making me go through this? Or God, why did you allow this bad thing to happen to me? God, why are you allowing this struggle in my life right now? God, why did X, Y, and Z? Well, I would want to encourage us to maybe think about how we would approach the Lord, number one. And number two, let's think about the fact that the Bible is clear that God's ways are higher than our ways, right? His thoughts are higher and greater than our thoughts. So we can't necessarily understand everything that he's doing because he's just got a bigger plan. You know, think about it when you were a kid and you would go to your parents. It'd be like 5:30, 6 o'clock. You're starting to get hungry. Your belly's starting to growl. And you're like, you know, Mom or Dad, I want some cookies right now because I'm hungry. And they're like, no, son, you need to wait because we're about to have dinner. Well, you might not have appreciated that. Like you might have got really upset. Maybe you got kids right now of your own and you've seen that play out in their life where they want something, but you know that what they want is not for their best. But they can't understand why you are holding what they would consider to be a blessing. They think that you're like cursing them because you're not allowing them to have exactly what they want when they want it. Or maybe it's even a time where your kid has done something like ran out in the middle of the street, right? And you had to discipline them because of what they did, where they're thinking, my goodness, my parents, they don't like me, like they're punishing me, like because I just walked a few feet away from them. They don't understand that, no, you're disciplining them or you're punishing them to teach them a lesson so that way they don't do the thing that they were doing another time and maybe something really bad happened, like you're not there to save them, right? In the Bible, there's a book called Job, and in the book of Job, Job, the guy, he has an awesome life, fantastic family, great business, and it's all taken away from him within like a day. He loses everything except his wife. And then eventually kind of loses his relationship with her. And eventually he actually gets really sick and has some challenges to him. And then through that time, Job, he gets, as we all do and would do, he gets quite disillusioned and starts questioning God. And then God kind of lets Job know in no uncertain terms that Job is not the king. Job's not the one in charge. And so Job ends up basically repenting and saying, okay, God, you're right. I'm sorry for having that attitude towards you. You know, what Job learned was what we know now from Scripture and from even a verse that we talked about a couple episodes ago where the Bible is clear that God says that all things work for the good of those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. And what we know now, again, is that because we have Scripture where it tells us that our thoughts are not God's thoughts. His thoughts are in ways are higher than our ways. And so I just want to encourage us that when we're going through times of challenge and difficulty, you know, let's not accuse God. You know, it's okay for us to have emotions and to have questions because God gave those to us. So he understands when we're upset. He understands when we're frustrated. He understands when we're sad. He understands when we're confused. And he wants us to take that to him. But let's try to not take it to him in an accusatory fashion. And let's realize that God's ways are higher than our ways, but that they're for our good. They're not for our bad. So I want you to also remember that you were created for a purpose. You were created on purpose. And let's not let these challenges of life keep us down. Let's make sure that we use them like a burpee, that we get down, but we get right back up. Okay? Like a push-up. We're down, and we come right back up. And those difficult times of life are just going to make us stronger. So let's take the failures of life. Let's learn the lessons from them. Let's move forward, and let's be better and stronger men.